let's go ahead and get to the show. So, California, I got a couple things that I want to go over in California. Small businesses are suffering. Minimum wage is exploding. I literally just read a story about McDonald's is looking to pack up shop. The overwhelming majority of McDonald's franchises are looking to close up shop inside of California. That is the report. That is what a lot of content creators are reporting on right now. But let me give you a little bit of an idea of what's happening over in California under Gavin Newsom.
Tonight, more economic uncertainty in California. The latest jobs report showing the state struggling with some major labor pains. Thanks for staying with us here at 5:30. I'm Hunter Sowers.
And I'm Curtis Main. California's unemployment rate is stuck at 5.3%, and that is the highest of any state, well above the national number. Your reporter covering San Joaquin County, Esteban Reynoso, is getting answers on the impact to small businesses. Esteban?
Well, yeah, hey there, guys. Now, there are some experts that say that this is a little bit of a cause for worry, that small businesses are the ones that are going to be mostly impacted by all of this. They say that those mom and pop shops are really affected by this high unemployment rate. Small businesses in San Joaquin County trying their best to stay afloat.
As a business owner, as your costs start to increase, right, you have to figure out, can I absorb another salary?
Ed Snow is the owner of Snow Properties, a 3-employee business in Stockton. He manages properties and HOAs for property owners and sees the impact the economy has on small businesses and their owners.
You know, it definitely comes down to, at the beginning of the month, what am I going to pay?
In terms of small business, we're seeing the continued impacts of the economic shutdowns we had in California during the pandemic.
Michael Bernick is a former director for the EDD. He says these impacts are stemming from stimulus money and PPP money that was there for businesses now out of the picture. Then you bring in inflation, higher wages and cost, and business owners are paying for it.
And declining consumer positive sentiment and tightening of consumer spending.
Snow says dealing with properties and homeowners, he sees more homeowners having to make tougher decisions and cut on spending.
Homeowners are looking at their wallets and saying, how do I prioritize? Is this a priority for us? Do I hold off and pay next month?
Now, Bernick says that this report isn't all bad, that there are about 11,000 jobs that were added in the healthcare industry, and that's kind of keeping the job market for the state afloat. And right now, the state has about 740,000 job openings. So, guys, it's just a matter of finding what job is the best fit for that employee.
Interesting to see those statistics. All right, thanks so much.
So, California is having a job crisis. But see, California itself is in a doom loop because California has basically become a playground for those that are not necessarily living there. So what do I mean by that? Well, you can't really make California your official residence if you're making any significant amount of money. Why? Because they're going to tax you to death. So I had an opportunity to tap in with one of my business buddies, and I was talking to him, and I said, hey, man, you spend a lot of time out in California. Is that your official residence? And he said, absolutely not. 100% not. I said, so how do you manage that? He said, Anton, my official residence is actually in a tax-free state. He said, we just spend time here, but we absolutely will not ever make California our official residence because no way are we going to be paying these crazy prices. We just like to spend time here because their year-round weather is pretty cool. He said, but I'm thinking about not even coming here because it's now starting to become so unsafe that, it doesn't matter what your socioeconomic status is, you're going to suffer. And so the people that's trying to survive in California are literally getting by the hairs of their chinny chin chin because you just cannot survive. Most of the people that I know that's sticking around in California are people that was born and raised there, and so they just got an affinity. It's just in their heart. And when I talk to them, they're like, man, it's hard here, but I just love it. I was just born and raised here. And so California has an edge when it comes to location and weather, but it definitely does not have an edge when it comes to their liberal policies and the people that are managing their cities and let alone a state. Because number one, they operating at a deficit. Number two, it's not business friendly. Number three, you got so many migrants that's going over there. Number four, homelessness is out of control. Number five, their unemployment rate is at the highest of any state. And number 6, their businesses are failing, and it's not conducive for small businesses and small business owners that are looking to get started. So you got a doom loop. But isn't it funny how, regardless, and I said that it was a playground for the rich, that they're starting a new city. They're calling this project California Forever. It's a proposed new city that is being built and bought up by literal billionaires. And this is a controversial project in the midst of a high city that is now being taken over by billionaires that is largely agriculture and farmland. Take a look.
Area 3 getting some exclusive renderings tonight of a proposed new city in Solano County, California Forever. The group behind this huge plan says the community will be walkable, affordable, and home eventually to some 400,000 people. But not everyone supports this plan, saying that the area should stay as it is, and that's farmland.
Area 3's Arco Manna spoke exclusively to the head of planning tonight about the new renderings, and also he talked to opponents about their main concerns.
What we're seeing right here is a backyard.
Getting a glimpse of what could be. California Forever sharing new renderings exclusively with KCRA 3 of their proposal for a brand new city in Solano County.
We're really trying to give people a picture of daily life in a compact, walkable community.
In an exclusive interview with me, head of planning Gabriel Metcalf breaks down the vision for the East Solano plan. New renderings show row houses with private backyards. Residents can choose to have a garage and accessory dwelling unit or just a larger grassy area.
We're basically leaving it up to the homeowner how they want to use that backyard space. So there's a lot of choice.
There would also be a range in types of housing, including starter homes.
The Bay Area has gotten so expensive. We think if we can find a way to provide home ownership at a more affordable price point, it's going to be really popular.
Another new rendering shows a bus rapid transit system that Metcalf says would function like trains with boarding islands and dedicated lanes.
This is going to be a quality of public transit service that people have not seen before in this part of California.
Metcalf says each resident would also be only a 5 to 10 minute walk from schools, parks, and businesses such as the ones in this new rendering.
More pretty pictures.
But not everyone is on board. William Brazelton is the president of the Solano County Farm Bureau, which opposes the proposed city because the land California Forever wants to build it on is currently zoned for agriculture.
There's actually quite a bit of space inside the city limits around the county, and that's what we would advocate be built out before there's sprawl, not just planting a brand new 400,000 member community in the middle of.
How do you just build a 400,000 member community? That is huge. That is a lot of people. That is literally a major city. 400,000 people? But let's see some of the people that's behind this whole thing, because we always just get it on the surface and we never really get an opportunity to see exactly who's behind all of this and where's the money coming from and who's going to profit tremendously as a result of it. Let's dig deep in this, y'all.
Much has been made over the years about living the California dream. The question is, can money, a lot of money, build that dream from the...
Who in the green screen put Auntie Mabel up here? Who put Auntie Gail up here in order to start this video off? Let's continue. Let's not get distracted.
Roundup. Luke Burbank found a place where some tech giants are trying to do just that.
For over 5 years, starting back in 2018, something mysterious was going on.
It's a nearly $1 billion land purchase.
Just 90 minutes northeast of...
Since 2018. That means they've been putting this together for over 6 years, probably over 7 to 8 years ago. Over 7 to 8 years ago, they've been plotting and planning to get this thing together in order to be able to, you know what I'm saying, purchase all of this land.
San Francisco.
No one, not even the federal government, can figure out who's behind it.
A secretive group was purchasing farmland, lots of it, some 60,000 acres in rural Solano County, California. Many feared it might be a Chinese government plot to try to set up shop near Travis Air Force Base.
Like a lot of people, I was chasing it around, running into the usual locked doors.
But as the New York Times' Connor Doherty, who helped break the story, found out,
Solano is a kind of unusual county.
The truth was even stranger than the rumors.
I got a tip from someone that what was behind the locked doors was the richest people in the world quietly buying all this farmland.
So that's how the rich stay rich, is that they continue to leverage assets in order to continue to control what's going on inside of y'all cities. When you control everything, shout out to Donnie, definitely gonna be reading that super chat shortly. When you control everything, when I say everything, I mean everything. You set the price, you determine what's going on as far as the laws, you own everything. And so you control everything. And if you don't have somebody that's doing a deeper dive and an investigation as to who it is that's a part of this whole thing, then you can be finessed into thinking that we actually got power, when in reality, we are now being subjected to whatever it is that they're saying that they're going to do over in a whole new city.
Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn venture capitalist, Laureen Powell Jobs, the founder of the Emerson Collective and Steve Jobs' widow, Mark Andreessen of the Andreessen Horowitz.
Y'all didn't even know that Steve Jobs' widow was out here making moves. Quiet. You could walk past her every single day. You could walk past this lady and you wouldn't even think twice. You know how I know her? You know what I'm paying attention to? The neck. It's all of this right here. See all of that grease and that Vaseline and that Botox and stuff like that? We ain't paying attention to that. I know how old she is. I know that that's Steve Jobs' widow. You know how? Because I'm looking at the neck. Listen, I keep telling y'all, no matter how rich you are, no matter how rich you are, no matter how successful you are, no matter how beat you think that your face is, all you got to do is look at the neck, the elbows, the knees, and the ankles. The neck, the elbows, the knees, and the ankles is going to tell you who these people are. Everybody is like trees, especially women. Women are just like trees. Look at the rings around the neck in order to tell exactly who they are and how old they are. Let's continue.
And Steve Jobs' widow, Mark Andreessen of the Andreessen Horowitz venture capital firm. Just really a who's who of Silicon Valley was involved in this.
Something else surprising, within hours of Doherty's big scoop, this mysterious company launched a website and publicly identified itself as California Forever, an ambitious plan to build a brand new kind of city for as many as 400,000 residents.
We knew this would be controversial when we announced the project.
And this is the guy behind it.
I had a hunch that this was a really good place to do something like this.
Jan Šremik, a 37-year-old Czech-born former Goldman Sachs trader turned aspiring city builder.
You can see Travis Air Force Base is out here.
Who has to try to convince the public that the project isn't just an oasis for billionaires or some high-tech city of the future.
So over there would be a downtown.
His vision is to turn all of this into a walkable city in the mold of Savannah, Georgia, or Philadelphia, PA, or New York's West Village.
So if you are successful with this, how will this still be a place that middle-class people could even afford?
By continuing to build for a long time. And so if we look at why places have become unaffordable, it's because they've just stopped building. Instead of taking all of these well-paying jobs that are being created in Northern California and sending them to Texas or Florida, let's create a place where we can send them to Solano County.
There you go, Azriel. They said, listen, Californians don't need to leave California. You can just come on over here to California City. This new California City we labeling California Forever. They don't want y'all to leave. They want y'all to stick around inside of this state in order to be able to run it up and run that bag up. It's going to become more affordable. We just need to keep building.
A place where our children's future can be bright. Walkable middle-class neighborhoods with homes we can afford.
The project's fate will ultimately be decided this November by the voters of Solano County, who have to decide whether or not to overturn a 3 decades-old law restricting where new development can go.
We're going to have total gridlock. You need to work on your soft skills. Don't insult us when you come to talk to us.
Jan Šremik's charm offensive has been met with, let's just say, a healthy amount of skepticism by many locals.
You're not going to answer that question because telling the truth is not in your nature.
The current proposal is to build a city about 2 miles up this road.
Locals like Al Medvitz and Jeannie McCormack, they're some of the last holdouts here. Most of their neighbors have sold to California Forever at far over market value. But they've turned down millions to keep farming this 3,700-acre ranch, which has been in Jeannie's family for more than a century.
Having developers come was always a fear my whole childhood because California was just changing so fast with development in farm areas.
Many of their neighbors who didn't sell have been sued by California Forever, who's accused them of colluding to raise land prices in the area. A charge
Now
they
you're
deny.
dealing with billionaires.
The housing is important, there's no question about it, but there are appropriate ways to do it.
We're reaching out to voters because the East Solano plan was recently submitted as an initiative to the county.
See, they get ran out of their own cities too. They get gentrified and ran out, and they don't care if you had a house over there for a century, all of your farmland, they don't care. You getting up out of there. When development comes and when the money comes knocking, you getting sued for colluding and attempting to raise the prices of what's going on over there, and you impeding on progress.
California Forever is sparing no expense to try to win over county residents.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight.
In what the New York Times' Connor Doherty says could be the most expensive political campaign in the history of Solano County.
The idea that this tech money is being redirected to this very kind of brick and mortar thing as an investment is kind of weird to me. Is it just that there's that much money to be made potentially?
Yep. Everyone thinks I'm crazy when I say this, but I just don't think it's principally about money. I think that many of the people involved are extremely frustrated that the pace of change in the physical world has lagged so far behind the pace of change in the digital world.
And it's all cap. Let me tell you something. It's all money. It all comes back down to money, and it comes back to playing God. That's really who we are. We are a group of people that ultimately want to play God. We want to play Monopoly. We want to play God. We all feel like we all want to play God, and we all want to be successful and take over what's going on in these streets.